Hello and welcome to On Europa League Matchday 5. We are here to analyze the games on Thursday with Alain Valnegri, with Alvaro Romeo, only one team with 4 wins, Lazio 2 teams with 4 defeats, Maccabi Tel Aviv and Dynamo Kiev, and as a big highlight, I would say, we have Tottenham Hotspur Roma, so stay tuned. Of course, many games to analyze. In this show, ask any question to Alain Valnegri, to Alvaro Romeo. They know everything around European football. And of course, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. First stop in Brussels, Anderlecht Porto. Anderlecht is one of the big surprises in this Europa League. 10 points, so 3 wins and 1 draw. It's true that the schedule was easy, but still you have to win these games, and it's not easy to go to San Sebastián and beat Real Sociedad. For instance, the only game that they hadn't won was against Rigas, but they are even in a good moment in the Belgian League, 6-0 at the weekend against Ghent. The opposite for Porto, we can say, Alain, out of the Copa o Taça de Portugal, lost to Benfica, lost to Lazio in the Europa League, and they have some pressure because they only won 1 game against Hoffenheim in this Europa League.
Yes, Porto is in a bad situation, but I think the project is not so clear. We don't understand what they wanna do, how they wanna play. I saw Porto in the stadium against Benfica, and I missed something about the idea, the football idea. The project was to play a really associative football, but the team miss a good playmaker. There are some problem with the central defender, and I think that there miss is not a consistent team, and they concede a lot in defense. They concede a lot, 8 goals in the last 3 games. Moreirense, Benfica, and Lazio. Anderlecht is back. Yes, interesting generation, really interesting generation. There don't start well in Jupiler Pro League, but in the last 2 months, Anderlecht is gone really good. 𝗀𝗏𝗿𝗀 is the best striker in Belgium. There are some young player, especially in the offensive midfielder, like Stroikens, like 𝗀𝗏𝗿𝗏𝗀, the English player. You have 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀 start really young. 𝐜𝐴MUZU, warning with this Anderlecht. I think that the game in San Sebastián surprised everybody. Me and Alvaro, we lose the ACCA, we lose that week for that game, and I think Anderlecht will be follow. Porto has a lot of problem. We are not in the vestry, but the big team, when they start that kind of negative streak, is difficult to change that. For that, I choose Anderlecht winning 𝐿 odds 2.20.
All right, they are the underdog for this game. Porto has one of the top scorers of these competitions, a player that Alvaro likes a lot, like Samu Morodion, 4 goals. We have to say also that Porto had a very tough schedule in this Europa League as well. It matters.
It matters, of course it does. They also were about to beat Manchester United. I think that this game is going to be quite interesting because the level is quite similar, even though on paper, 3 months ago, we would have said, yeah, Porto should be the favorite for this game. They are not now because Anderlecht has 10 points. They are quite dangerous from every possible zone because their goal duties are spread around the squad. 7 players have scored 1 goal, which is, I think, a positive thing. The goal is a joint effort, but everyone can score. It's the right opposite of what Porto is. In Porto, a team that is in a big institutional crisis, not only a sporting crisis, Samu 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, because we don't call him Samu 𝗲𝗲𝗀 anymore, he doesn't want to be called like that, has scored the 50% of the team's goals. Whereas in Anderlecht, the goal, as I said before, is more spread around the squad. They will be better, I guess, when 𝗀𝗏 Hazard recovers, but until then, they are doing well. They have the best passing accuracy of the tournament, which is quite something, I would say. And then 𝗀𝗏, to keep the ball, has proven to be a very important player with a 97% passing accuracy. They have been 5 games unbeaten in all competitions as well. And they've got 10 points and Porto has 6. In this game, I don't understand why the odds are so favorable for Porto, really. I think that a draw, for example, is something that I will be looking at because Porto also knows Europe very well and they know how to compete in the, when the situation demands that. Otherwise, something like over 2.5 goals is something that I would be interested about. That pays 171 over 2.5 goals, and I believe that goals can happen because Samu 𝗲𝗲𝗀 is in one side, and because Anderlecht at home, I can see them scoring 1 or 2. So yeah, those will be my bets. Both teams to score or over 2.5 goals.
Okay, Porto to score over 1.5 goals for 𝗲𝗏. This is risky. I'm sure it pays a lot. Porto to win or draw, and both teams to score. In this case, for 𝗀𝗏𝗏Benjamin. Next stop is gonna be in the Netherlands. AZ against Galatasaray. Galatasaray top in Turkey, winning absolutely everything. Also informed in this Europa League with 10 points. Beat Spurs in the big game in the last match day, 3-2 with 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 scoring a brace. They've only played 1 away game in this Europa League and was a draw against weak Rigas. AZ, on the other hand, 6 points, 2 wins against 𝐜𝐿zburg and Fenerbahce, both games at home. So I guess, Alvaro, we should take in consideration the home factor for this game.
Yeah, the home factor can be important, that's for sure. They beat Fenerbahce, AZ 3-1. That was impressive on the 7th of November. And, I think that result can be taken as a stepping stone. Not so much the win against 𝗜lzburg 3-2 at home as well, because 𝗜lzburg, the Swedish side, were reduced to 10 men during the game. But yeah, AZ Alkmaar has been good at home. And they've got the youngest squad in the competition, by the way. It's a team that it's energetic, that's for sure. And on the other hand, I saw them playing against Athletic Club Bilbao for the full 90 minutes, and they didn't look to me like they weren't ready for the competition. So as young as they can be, they look to me like composed, good on the ball, with a style that they believe in, and the energy levels are there, of course. When it comes to Galatasaray, what can I say? They have been the surprise package of the competition so far. I mean, to a certain degree, because the quality of the footballers they've got is immense, right? But they average 3 goals per game, and they've got 10 points. I mean, I'm not saying that having Galatasaray nearing or neighboring top positions is a surprise. What I'm saying is the way they have done it. I mean, they are the second best scoring side in the tournament, just behind Ajax, the second in possession, the team that has attempted more crosses. So, there is an attempt from the team to attack a lot. Then the society, Mertens, Osimhen is working very well. Saku, he has gone 4 games in a row scoring. They have, in the stats of the Europa League, the 3 players who have attempted more shots on target. The 3 players in the competition who have attempted more shots on target belong to Galatasaray. So the attacking edge is there. The willingness to go for it is there. They have conceded a lot, though. That's something that has to be said. They have conceded 8. Only 3 sides in the whole tournament have conceded more. So that takes me inevitably to the goals market, because Galatasaray scores a lot, but they have conceded 8, an average of 2 per game as well. And AZ are playing at home. So I'm going to go for over 2.75 goals, 175, and I will let the quality of both squads speak, do the talking. I really believe that the goals can happen here.
Galatasaray is among the favorites for this competition, Alain, and leading easily the Turkish league. Are you so happy also or impressed by the start of the season so far?
But Galatasaray, I think the problem with Galatasaray is not playing the Champions League, because it's a squad to play Champions League. They lose the playoff, and I still not understand how they can lose against Young Boys. And that one in Europa League, when you watch the game, the player is one of the best squad of this Europa League. Now Turkish team suffer when they played away. Since few weeks, few years, Fenerbahce, we see Fenerbahce losing a point against weak team. The same Besiktas too. Now this game, AZ Alkmaar is not in a very good moment, because in the last 2 months AZ have a lot of problem with the results, with the squad, a lot of injury player like 𝐿𝐴𝐶, like Martin Cindy, like Sadiq, especially 𝐿𝐴𝐶 and Martis Indy. They are two player with a lot of experience with that young squad, and maybe playing Europe and Eredivisie is too much for a Zeta. Like Galatasaray in Turkish league, they are the dominant team. We don't have any doubt. They won both direct game against Besiktas, against Fenerbahce easily this season. They must to catch a victory. I think, especially for the mental aspect, they must to win a game away, to have them to increase a little the auto confidence of the team when they played away. In spite of that, I am with Alvaro. I watch over 2.75 games. In spite of the odds are not so high, 1.74, but we can try Osimhen score, because Osimhen score from the beginning of the season is in a wonderful moment. Is the Osimhen we saw in Napoli when Napoli won the Serie A 2 seasons ago, and Osimhen must to score, because Osimhen a special clause in his contract. If some team in Premier League want to sign in January, Galatasaray will be let him going. From the beginning of the season, brilliant statistic: 6 goals in 7 games in Turkish league, 2 goals in Europe, and I think it can be a good draw, a good option. Osimhen score odds 2.30.
Okay, goals in your opinion. We have Mustafa going for the draw. Very positive result, I would say, especially for Galatasaray. Viper is backing Galatasaray. He thinks it's a good value, and also Chinonso is going for a double chance, in this case for Galatasaray, and both teams to score. Again, the Turkish team, one of the best in this competition. We have 5 teams with 10 points, one of them Galatasaray. Next game is Karabak Lyon. Important game for Lyon with 7 points. They need to win to be fighting for the top 8, and so they don't have to play the playoffs. They drew with Hoffenheim and defeat Besiktas at home, and especially away. They got better results. Alain beating Olympiacos, beating Rangers. We were speaking in our league and video if all the economic situation could affect them, and they are not winning recently. It's 4 draws in 5 games. Karabak is one of the weakest teams in this competition, but again, there is this economic and non-sport factor with Lyon that make them dangerous to back them.
Yes, it's the biggest question about Lyon. What will be the grade of motivation when do you have that delicate type of situation with the board and with in this case with Ligue 1 directly. In my opinion, some player will be more motivated to show us to leave Lyon in January. The first is 𝗀𝐿𝐴. 𝗀𝐿𝐴 is playing at really high, probably the highest level since he's a professional player, and is one of the biggest talent of French football. Karabak suffer when they played at home a lot because they lose every game at home. The fact that won 7-2 in that the craziest game during the summer against 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗀𝐻, when they start to lose at home and they won 7-2 in against 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗻. Now Karabak is the dominant team in his country. We saw, in my opinion, Karabak with more quality, maybe 6-7 years ago when they do a brilliant Europa League. This year they suffer. Lyon have a good opportunities to be back, win a game after four draw in the last 5 games, but they don't lose. And that one I think is a good point. The odds of Lyon is so interesting because I think the difference between both teams are higher than the odds. I choose Lyon winning odds 2.00.
Okay, you are back in Lyon, still the favorite for this game. Theo is going all the way around. I think this one will have a lot of discrepancies. Karabak double chance. Chinonso is going for the same as Alain, Lyon to win. And Tyson is seeing both teams to score, Álvaro.
Yeah, I mean, this game obviously presents an opportunity for the odd chasers because Karabak to win at home 360 sound good on paper, but on the other hand, we have to put it in front of Karabak's reality as well. Karabak has only 3 points out of 12, and they started the Europa League in a very bad fashion, losing 3 games in a row. Some of the defeats were comprehensive and difficult to take, but then in the last game they managed to get a win, so they corrected their situation a little bit. Olympique Lyon hasn't been great in the Europa League. You guys know more about French football than I do, and you have explained very well what the Olympique Lyon situation is right now. It's like right now. I would add that Olympique Lyon's calendar from now on until the end is not easy, because after playing Karabak they will play Frankfurt and then Fenerbahce in Istanbul, and then the last game is against 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗻𝗀 at home. So I think that Karabak and 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗻𝗀 will be the key games for Lyon to qualify for the next round, and probably Lyon will set their eyes in this game as well. Who is the most dangerous player according to the stats from Karabak right now in the Europa League? In the Europa League has been 𝗀𝗿𝗄𝐿, a player who has been an absolute pain to stop, but Lyon has a better squad. They have attacked a lot in this Europa League with 3. They are the third in shots on target. Then they are not particularly possession based, but they recover the ball and they manage to inflict some pain. They are the second in balls recovered. Away from home, they got 4 points. So that points me in the direction of Lyon winning, as Alain says. So we are going to agree here. Lyon to win 2.0 sounds brilliant to me.
-2 degrees now in Azerbaijan by Thursday. Now is this time of the year where I always like to check the weather forecast and see how cold it's going to be at the kickoff time. Mustafa, also back in Lyon. Lyon needs 3 points. Well, let's see what happens. Much warmer in Portugal. Braga, Hoffenheim. We haven't talked about Braga in a while. A classic of the European competitions, 4 points only, so they are out right now of the Europa League. Their only win came against Maccabi, the worst team in this competition, and they even lost to 𝗛𝗲𝗀 or Olympiacos, for instance. Hoffenheim also not in their best moment, even if finally they won the Bundesliga game against Leipzig. Only 5 points in the Europa League. Therefore, Alvaro, two teams that are so this season.
Yeah, this game for me is a no-go. I'm really sorry to say, but that sometimes I am very expansive with some games, and sometimes I prefer to run away from some opportunities as well. And this is one of them, probably. Braga, they are misfiring a lot in the competition, and that's a difficult weight to get rid of when you play in Europe. I mean, they have managed to be the 4th team in shots or on target attempted, which is good. That would make you think that, yes, they would have scored a good deal of goals, at least 1.5 goals per game, something like that, but nothing further from reality. They have scored only 3 goals, which is nothing in the competition, and they have such a dependence on a footballer like Bruma, who has scored 66% of the team's goals. For example, Porto has a dependence on 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, 50% of the goals of the team scored. But what happens to Braga is too hyperbolic. I mean, Bruma or no one so far in the competition. If he doesn't score, the team doesn't score. It's as simple as that, or pretty much close to that. And Hoffenheim, yes, they are not having a great season either. I think that in the Europa League, they've got a little bit of margin to correct themselves. Not doing great in the Bundesliga. They are closer to relegation than they are to Europe, basically, which is not a good omen, obviously. But on the other hand, they could be competitive here. Look, this is a pass for me. I'm going to say something for the sake of my professionalism. Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Braga, back in a little bit the home side with a pinch of salt, 184, but otherwise this is a pass.
Alain, for you is also a pass, or?
I don't know, because Hoffenheim I saw the game against Leipzig, and I really enjoy to see the team. I think Hoffenheim has a big problem. Is a team can't be changed or registered. But when they're found team with who have the initiative and can be playing counter attack, there have some player can make a lot of or create a lot of danger for the rival. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, I think 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 it must to be his season, because we wait 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 since 2 seasons in Leverkusen. He don't catch a good minute time of in the field, but in Hoffenheim he must to be the one of the referent in offensive way. With Kramaric, I think is a very good duo player for Hoffenheim. Now Braga at home suffer since the beginning of the season. We saw that against Sporting there was winning 2-0 and there finished to lose 4-2, and he's not confident. He's not in a good moment. In the past, Braga was maybe not a so funny team, but he was a team with a strong mentality. And since the beginning of the season, I don't saw that. Santa Clara is up than Braga in the Liga NOS. In Europa League, I saw both game against Servette, and I was not so enthusiastic with Braga. I think Hoffenheim can catch a positive result in Braga. And I choose the double opportunity. Hoffenheim does not lose the game, odds 1.83.
Okay, Theo, German teams are very unpredictable. The game can go both ways, indeed. This is a difficult one, but the odds are very good no matter which team you choose. This Hoffenheim almost fighting to avoid relegation. In the Bundesliga, well, next one is Nice Rangers. Nice only 2 points, Alain, so it's the last call if they want to qualify. It's the opposite for this team. In Europe, struggling. Again, only 2 draws against 20 and Real Sociedad, and League and doing good. Actually, they are 5th. They beat Strasbourg at the weekend, and we have good odds, I would say, if we want to back Nice at the Allianz Riviera with Rangers in a really bad situation in Scotland, but they had kind of an easy schedule in this Europa League. That's why, Alain, they have 7 points.
But Nice since the last game in Hungary, when they lose against Fenerbahce, we saw a strong reaction because they do 7 points against 3 teams playing Champions League. Winning against Monaco, derby, really important. Winning in Brest and catch a draw against Lille. Winning against Strasbourg. Nice changed the model of play in the radical way, because it was a team with positional attack idea of football, and now is a transition team. That one means you must to be patient. You must to wait, and I think is the best moment for Nice. The season start after the winning against Monaco at the end of October, and we saw a lot of improvement with the ball, without the ball. The team has the idea really clear about the football, about as Rangers. Rangers is always difficult to understand the team from Scottish Premier League in Europe, especially when they're played away. Celtic have the same problem. When they're played away, the team disappear. Since the beginning of the season, Rangers are not doing so well, because if you check the biggest game from the beginning of the season against Lyon, against Celtic, and against Olympiacos, maybe we can save only the game against Olympiacos, and Olympiacos is in a good moment right now. But Nice have something more at this moment. I think that Rangers can be suffer the verticality of Nice. For that reason, I choose Nice winning odds 1.92.
Very difficult to trust the Scottish teams when they are playing away. The 2 wins for Rangers came against Malmo and Steaua, Alvaro.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the same odds here. Nice to win 185. I mean, Nice are the 5th in France. They are the 3rd best scoring side in the Ligue 1. And then in the Europa League, look, they are doing a few things right. For example, they have a player like 𝗀𝗵𝗀, who is the first ditch in midfield, and in the Europa League is proving to be very compact midfielder. Klaus from the wing, he's creating a lot of danger, I will say, and that's something that Rangers will have to be very worried about. I want to see if 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 scores finally in the Europa League, because he has scored 6 in the domestic competition, but not in Europe so far. So maybe this is time for him to add a goal to his bag. And when it comes to Rangers, look, the situation is not good this year, because Rangers and Celtic are communicating vessels, basically. When one of the teams is doing right, the other one is not doing right. It's impossible that both are happy at the same time. The manager, Philippe Clement, is under heavy questioning, because Rangers is 11 points behind Celtic. If you look at the highlights of the Rangers games, you will see that there is a bold guy like 𝗀𝗏, who has scored 5 goals in the league, and he's definitely the best footballers they've got right now. And you will wonder, where is Tavernier? Well, Tavernier is playing so bad that, for example, against Dundee in the weekend, he was deployed to the bench. So demoted to the bench. A footballer that 2.5 years ago, he was the outstanding player of the Europa League. The project of Rangers is right now stagnant, not well. And on the other hand, by contrast, Celtic is doing very well in the Champions League, or very well for their standards. We can say as well that the Rangers are trying. I mean, They have an average of 5.4 shots per game in the competition in the Europa League, which means that they are attacking, they are trying, they have the capacity to score. They have scored 2 goals per game. But on the other hand, I think Nice at home has what needed to beat Rangers. So needs to win, as Alain said. 185 was the value I found, but Alain says that the value is right now over 190, so I take it, yeah.
Keep it simple for Tyson also, needs to win, Viper agrees, needs to win, and Mustafa is adding up the under 3 goals for this game. Next one, Slavia Prague, Fenerbahce. This is a good one, also important for the qualification because Slavia only with 4 points, Fenerbahce with 5. So both are struggling to qualify. Mourinho's team lost to AZ 3-1 in the last game and drew with Man United and Twente. So kind of difficult games. Their only win came against Union Saint-Gilloise and Slavia Prague. Alvaro doing great in the local league, but only one win in this Europa League. Unfortunately for our massive Bulgarian friends, it came against Ludogorets.
Well, our massive Bulgarian friends may remember Athletic Club Bilbao beat Ludogorets the other day. And I tell you, Ludogorets wasn't that bad. I mean, Athletic Club Bilbao had to fight a lot to win over there in Bulgaria with a goal from Nico Serrano. So, but yeah, we're talking about the Slavia Prague here. I think they have been very unlucky with the calendar. I think the Slavia Prague has been good. In fact, they lost to Athletic Club Bilbao. And probably Slavia Prague is the best team that has passed by San Mamés this season. I think that Slavia Prague did, I'm going to say something a bit weird, but Slavia Prague was better at San Mamés this season than Atlético de Madrid was at San Mamés this season, if that makes any sense. I think that they were containing us, they were closing all the channels. Athletic Club Bilbao managed to win at the end, but it was very difficult, very difficult. They are competitive. And they have had a difficult calendar because they played against Frankfurt, against Athletic Club Bilbao at San Mamés. They played against Ajax. They managed to get a draw in there. But Fenerbahce is also in need. And I think Fenerbahce has better footballers and a manager that knows how to get something from games like this. We have spoken a lot about Jose Mourinho's, the issues of his team here and there. And sometimes we have seen that some of the most remarkable results in Europe have been against Mourinho, like Bodo Glimt, for example, beating Roma a few years ago and all that. But he always manages to take the team out of the group stage. And I think that he will do that with Fenerbahce, even though Jose Mourinho's quotes this season have been a bit weird. It's like he feels that he belongs somewhere else, not to Turkey. At the start of the season, he said, well, we didn't qualify for the Champions League, but we wouldn't have won it anyway. And it was like, you don't say these things. And the other said, when Fenerbahce played against an English side, he was saying that he wouldn't mind to go back to the Premier League. I don't think that you have to say these things when you are representing another club. But I'm going to back Fenerbahce here because the odds are very inviting. I'm going to back them with a pinch of salt because I think that they will grind out from this game something, but it's not going to be easy. So I'm going to go for an Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Fenerbahce because I believe that if they can get a draw, and if they draw, you will get half a win, which is already good. And if they win, you get a full win. Asian handicap plus 0.25 for the Turkish side.
Well, he also said that in England, the only person watching the Turkish league is his son, and he himself never watched the Turkish league. But we know that Alain Valnegri watches the Turkish league, Alain.
Yes, but Mourinho is always the same question. The first season about Jose Mourinho is the worst normally. The first week was difficult because he played a derby really soon in the season. In the last game, we saw an improvement without the ball and especially with the ball. With En-Nesyri is in a very good moment. Tadic play really high level. Amrabat is integrated and is the leader in the midfield. Now Slavia Praga is probably the worst model of play for a team for Jose Mourinho. It's a direct play. Slavia Praga have
and
a lot
deep
of
block.
discipline. Yes, deep block, really physical and really fast in counter attack. And when we check the game from the beginning of the season, Slavia Praga lose only 2 games, and the schedule in Europa League was difficult for Slavia Praga because they're playing in Frankfurt. Frankfurt is in a very good season. Is second in Bundesliga, in Europa League. They're one of the best team already. But except that 2 games, Slavia Praga score in every game. And Fenerbahce, since Mourinho is in the bench, they score every game too. And for that reason, I choose over 2.25 goals. In the case of 2 goals are scored, the money is back. And I see that with the odds 1.95 because we must to consider Slavia Prague must to attack, and we will be see a game more open than we can predict.
Well, most of our audience are going for both teams to score. Is around 1.9, 1.97, more or less. Also, Chinonso is going for an over. So we should expect goals in the beautiful Prague. And next one is San Sebastián, Real Sociedad, Ajax in a strange atmosphere in San Sebastián after the defeat in the derby, 1-0, the manager accusing the players. The players said that the manager didn't understand how to play. And the thing is that the Real Sociedad are struggling this season, apart from the win against Barcelona, not really eye-catching results in the Europa League, only 4 points, only beating Maccabi like everyone else. And Ajax is the opposite. Alain, after having a really bad season, the previous one, this season they are back in track with Farioli on the bench, ex-Nice, and they are second in this Europa League with 10 points and only 1 goal conceded.
No, Ajax is one of the team must to see right now in the European football because the offensive football is back in Amsterdam, and the last month is brilliant for Ajax because they start really bad the season, and the team going in crescendo. And in the last months, they win in the 𝐻𝐿 against Feyenoord. They beat the PSV at home. Maybe the drawing in 20. If we search a mistake of Ajax in the last month, but I think the feeling is very good. Is very, very good in front of a team where the feeling is really bad, because probably Alvaro can answer better than me, but where is the problem in the offensive production with Real Sociedad?
Yeah.
Because in Liga only 11 goals in 11 games. When do you see not the forward, the midfielder, the creation? He's every player of the talent to give the last pass, have assist. Maybe is the season too much for the manager, because when you are manager from home is always delicate when the things are not going well, and maybe that one is the limit. But the quality of the squad is impressive. The sport director Olave do a brilliant work in the last season, and is not renew. There have a deep problem in inside of the society, and that one we saw that with the team. I think that the most significant was the game against Anderlecht. And against Anderlecht, you can't lose a game against Anderlecht when you have the quality of Real Sociedad. For that reason, I think Real Sociedad will have problem against that Ajax, and the double for Ajax is so attractive. I choose X2 odds 1.98.
Well, the odds are massive if you are going for Ajax to win, Alvaro.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna go for something slightly milder than Alain's, but also back in Ajax. Asian handicap plus 0.75 for Ajax. I like it, and it pays 176. I mean, what is the problem with Real Sociedad? Alain asked me that, and the truth is that there is no coming back from Imanol's words the other day. After the basket derby, he hit out at his players with a ferocity that wasn't needed, in my opinion, unless he is sending out a message that has a purpose, which will be him leaving the club. Otherwise, I don't get it. But it's not the first time that Imanol hits out at players, but he has done it in the past more individually. I remember that when Real Sociedad played against Paris Saint-Germain, he ranted against Traoré for losing the focus, marking Mbappé. But it's strange because sometimes with Real Sociedad you see glimpses of the team that they can be or the team that they have been. They beat Barcelona this season 2.5 weeks ago. They competed decently with Real Madrid, albeit they lost. And this is a team that maybe they are a little bit on the way down. The project with Imanol, not the project of Real Sociedad, because I think that from the sporting direction point of view, Real Sociedad is terrific. I'm not going to take anything away from them. But Imanol has been there many years, and he won the Spanish Cup in 2020, and that was a little bit the pinnacle. And also, a year ago, he did such a good Champions League group stage campaign, just finishing above Inter in the group stage and beating Salzburg, beating Benfica. That was very impressive. But ever since then, 2024 hasn't been a great year for Real Sociedad. There are a few things that we have to say. Why do they score so little? Number one, there is a drama with the strikers. They have tried signing 𝗀𝗵cie. They signed him, he looked good, he broke his ACL, and from that moment on, Sadik has been a shadow. Óscarson, a striker that they got themselves this season, he's still injured. Andrés Silva, last season, he was a flop. Also, plenty of injury problems. They got a short squad. And the players from midfield, like Susic and Brais Méndez, I think that they've got the talent and the potential to score 7 or 8 goals per season. But I want to see that happen. It's not happening so far. And 𝗀𝗲𝗏, he's not playing very well for Real Sociedad. He's scoring the odd goal, but we should demand him more, especially because he came back from his ACL injury already 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And the team has the quality. 7 players who are in the lineup of Real Sociedad travel and play with their respective national teams. 7 of the lineup. I'm talking about Remiro. I'm talking about Brais Méndez. I'm talking about Zubimendi. I'm talking about Kubo. I'm talking about 𝗀𝗲𝗏. I'm talking about Aramburu, who plays with Venezuela. In total, 7 of the lineup play with the national team. And they've been playing together for many years. So it's very difficult to explain why they are like this, but maybe Manon's project is on the way down. And when it comes to Ajax, look, they are the top scorers in the competition with 13 goals. 𝗀𝐻𝐿 is not available, but Kenneth Taylor has scored many goals. 𝗀𝗵𝗏 is providing the assist. They are dangerous. They have conceded only 1 goal, apart from scoring 13. So, they know how to deal in each box, in the defending and the attacking box, and they are going to be dangerous at Real Arena. So I'm going to back Ajax with an Asian handicap plus 0.75. The value is very good, 176.
Everyone backing Ajax is difficult to understand the low odds for Real Sociedad, as Jacobo is telling us, so 𝑋2 could be the right call. Mustafa is going for corners. In this case, we don't have to forget, again, the good game of Real Sociedad against Barcelona with 0 shots on target for Barcelona. And the last game is Tottenham Roma, also really high odds to back Roma, but in this case, I wouldn't touch it. No wins away yet for Roma. New manager, Claudio Ranieri, the third one this season. The first game, it was a difficult one at the Maradona, 1-0. We didn't expect many goals, and it was a low-scoring game in Napoli. And Tottenham is another inexplicable team, able to lose at home against 𝗵𝒽 and able to go also to the Etihad and thrust Man City 4-0 with an exhibition from many of his players, including 2 goals from Maddison. I guess, Alvaro, or in my opinion, this Roma is a no-touch right now, especially
it is a no-touch for me, and especially in London. I mean, I know that this is just some little silly trivia, right? But Roma have never managed to win in London before. This is their 7th attempt, and who knows, maybe they get their win here at the Spurs ground in Seven Sisters, but I don't think that they will. Roma is the team with more possession in the tournament. I guess that they will try to use the possession to slow down Spurs. Then Paredes will be important to stop a player like Kulusevski, who is starting his runs from very far away, but he always manages to create danger and get to the box. And for Tottenham, only bad news because Vicario suffered a very bad ankle injury, so they will probably have to play with Fraser Foster, a goalkeeper that, in my opinion, I wouldn't say he's finished, obviously, because he's playing at a top club, but he's very slow right now. He's old, and he always looked to me a little bit rigid, and as he got older, he looks more and more rigid. So maybe over there, Tottenham suffers a little bit, not necessarily in this game, but as the season goes by, for not having their first choice goalkeeper. Van de Ven and Romero shouldn't be ready for the game. This is a problem, especially Van de Ven is not going to be ready. Romero, I want to wait and see. But Spurs are a hit and miss, which makes them very dangerous. I think that here they are going to beat Roma because after winning or beating Manchester City, I think that they will be oozing with confidence. It's true that 2.5 weeks ago, they couldn't keep 𝐬𝐭𝐴 at bay. They didn't know how to do it. But the other day, they managed to keep Manchester City at bay, which is very impressive. So I'm going to back Spurs with an Asian handicap -1. This is probably my highest bet of the whole show. Asian handicap -1 for Spurs, 225.
Alain, I was not happy with 𝗀𝐿, Ranieri's and all the classic from Roma. Do you think he can turn around the situation and improve this Roma?
But not a lot of people can be turned this situation. But Claudio Ranieri, in this moment, I think is the man. Because he knows the places from Roma, he feel the colors, he will be his last experience. In Napoli, what we don't see nothing during 75 minutes, but in the last 25 minutes, we saw something maybe can change in Rome, because the squad is qualitative. Rome do a really good market last summer, especially in the offensive way. Dybala stay, 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗀, Soulé, El Shaarawy is back. 𝗀𝗏 is a very good creator for the midfield. 𝐿𝐭𝐚𝐲 is he play titular with friends. You have 𝗍𝐵𝐴, you have Hermoso. The market was brilliant. But now, when do you have aboard Sign, your manager, for 3 years, and after 3 games, you fired 𝗵𝗏𝗏. 𝗵𝗏𝗏 is a legend in Roma. You will be create a negative atmosphere. And Roma, the emotional temperature in Rome is one of the most delicate in Europe. But Rome, when the fans are hungry, is one of the most difficult place to work in. And 𝗀𝐿 was not the right man in the right place. Now we have Ranieri, is the right man in the right place. And now from the defensive way, I think Ranieri will be found quickly the balance. Now I am curious about the offensive way, because with that talented player he has in the squad, I pretend to see something more with Roma. I know he don't have a lot of time to working with the team, but I wait an improvement against Tottenham, and I choose the most risky prediction for this game. I choose Roma don't lose in against Tottenham, odds 2.15.
Big surprise it would be indeed. Perhaps it's a low scoring game, a close one, as Roma also did against Napoli. Carbonaro is going for a double chance and under in this game. Mustafa, for both teams to score in the second half. San Martin is a pass. Roma really need the points in North London. Well, guys, this comes to an end after analyzing the best games on Thursday in the Europa League. Remember that we have our tipster competitions opened for you, monthly Premier League, NFL, NBA, and now also Rivals. What is Rivals? So you can create your own competition with your friends and test them. You can do also public one or private one. And of course, don't forget that we are also on Discord. So many new stuff going on Oddspedia. Alain Valnegri, tell me your safe bet, please.
Midtjylland, Eintracht Frankfurt over 1.75 goals, odds 1.23.
And Alvaro?
Asian handicap -1 for Lazio, 142.
All right. Álvaro Lloraca?
Yeah, very simple. Asian handicap -1 for Spurs. Asian handicap -1.5 for Lazio. Altogether 416.
Well, you both disagree with that game. Tottenham, Roma. Alain, your ACCA?
Pilsen X2, Manchester United winning, Cercle Bruges winning, Steaua Bucharest Olympiacos over 1.75 goals for a total 4.70.
Okay, this is a football champagne ACCA, Alain? You travel all around Europe.
I hope we will be win to buy champagne. No,
the lonely planet ACCA. The lonely planet.
Yeah, but the one that goes to off-beaten track places and so on to find value, even hearts around there. Well, good luck then with your ACCAs, with your bets. Thank you, Alain. Thank you, Álvaro. Bye. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.